maybe that red light saved you from a car accident. See, the meaning that you gave it was stupid red light, while the meaning somebody else gave it was, well, I probably got this red light, so something else didn't happen to me, or something else did happen to me. See, if you change this, you begin changing the meaning that you choose to give things that happen to you. See, I said a moment ago that your beliefs determine your actions determine your results. Which means if you can figure out the magic $1 million question, which is what determines my beliefs. If I were you right now, and I looked at my piece of paper and I had things written down that I really wanted to have in my life, and I didn't have those things yet, and I knew for a fact that my beliefs determine my actions determine my results, how many of you guys believe for a fact that your beliefs determine your actions determine your results? How many of you guys believe that, right? It's not an arguable statement. I would be up all night losing sleep over this question right here. What determines my beliefs? I would be up all night losing sleep saying, well then what determines my beliefs? See, a belief is nothing more than a grouping or a batch of similar thoughts. That's it. And you can develop a belief about just about anything if you have enough thoughts, aka references, about a certain topic. So let's say, for example, you meet a guy named Bob. And the first time you meet Bob, you're like, wow, Bob's a nice guy. And in your brain, your brain has a little folder and it says Bob on it. And when you look inside the folder, you just put a reference in that says, Bob's a nice guy. Boom. That's my Bob folder. The next time I meet Bob, Bob's a nice guy again. You know what? Bob's a really nice guy. And you put Bob, a really nice guy, in the Bob folder. And then the next time you meet Bob, you're like, I'll tell you what, Bob is one heck of a guy. This is like the greatest guy I've ever met in my life. And then you put that in the Bob folder, right? See, what's happening is every time you meet Bob, he's strengthening your belief about him with every single reference that you get. But then you meet Stu, and you meet Stu for the first time, you're like, Stu's kind of a jerk. Put that in the Stu folder, right? A couple weeks later, you meet Stu. Sure enough, Stu's still a jerk. Put that in the Stu folder, right? So now the next time you meet Stu, you're looking for him to be a jerk because you looked in his folder like, yep, he's a jerk. Hey Stu, how's it going? Oh, Stu is a really big jerk and he's never going to change, and you put that in the Stu folder. So at this point, the next time you see Stu, you don't even bother going anywhere near him because in your folder is 3 references that say, Stu's a jerk. Now your brain does this for everything in your life. Positive things, negative things, it doesn't matter. A topic is a topic. And it's been doing it ever since your brain could process and understand when you were just a little itty-bitty kid. And what was happening is ever since you were a little itty-bitty kid, your parents, your neighbors, your teachers, your relatives, and your friends' parents have been creating files or references for your files. Because that's where your files come from, is whoever is surrounding you. So sadly, many of you have the belief systems or the thought processes that are very similar to those who raised you. And many of you don't even know it because it's unconscious, right? You don't even know it's in there because there's so many references in the folder. Now, I'm not here to talk about every area of your life. But what I'm talking about applies to every area of your life. It applies to your health. It applies to your family life, your relationships. It applies to your spirituality. It applies to your finances. My job today is to talk to you as an entrepreneur and talk to you about the financial side of it. And your finances as an entrepreneur are determined by 2 things. Your beliefs about the topic of entrepreneurship and your beliefs about yourself and how you can succeed in the topic of entrepreneurship. That's determined where you're at right now. as an entrepreneur with us? Let me start over. It's determined where you're at in every area of your life. But I'm here to talk about entrepreneurship. So if you're a regional director right now, or a national, or a director, or whatever, meaning that's what you got, that's determined by what you believe. And determine what you believe about the topic of entrepreneurship and the topic of yourself and your capabilities. So what happened is, ever since you're like 1 year old, a folder was started for these topics. Let's go ahead and I'm going to dive in and check out your folder. Let's check it out. Money doesn't grow on trees. How many of you guys have heard that one before? Money is the root of all evil. It's interesting. You all need to go to school and get really good so you can get into the best. When you're at college, you got to get really good so you can graduate and get the very best. And that job's going to take care of you for the rest of your... Who fell for that one? Oh, you're doing one of those? Those things don't. Interesting. What is in your folder about the topic of entrepreneurship, the topic of money, right? See, ever since you were a kid, how many of you guys had parents that thought about money? Raise your hand. I did. I had parents that thought about money all the time. How many of you guys had parents or an environment that was very conservative in their thinking about the fact that you need to go get a job. Go get a job. You need to go get a job. You need to, watch this, you need to get a very safe, secure... See, these are all things that we were programmed, references. And I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. Oh man, at lunch, I cannot wait to call my parents. It's on. I cannot wait. But you can't be mad at them. They just got passed down by whoever told them this stuff, right? See, my job today is not to get you angry at your parents or your environment, because remember I said the problem is not your problem. Your parents aren't the problem. I'm going to give you a way to change all that, and you get to choose. As a kid, you didn't get to choose. But now, as a grown adult, you get to choose what references you put in your files. You get to control what references go in your files. And if you don't like the references, you're not going to put them in your files anymore. See, what saddens me is that many of you guys protect the files in your office, and you protect the files in your computer, but you got like antivirus protection, password protected. Some of you guys trying to get in your computers like Fort Knox, but you don't do anything to protect the most important and the most valuable files that you will ever have in your entire life, which are the files that are right here. You do nothing to protect those files, right? You let people poison those files. You let people damage those files. You wouldn't let somebody walk up to you and go, hey, great computer, all your important files on there? Yeah. Oh, hang on, this is the code. Let me go ahead and dump it on there. How many of you guys would be really upset and probably do some damage to that person if they consciously poured a Coke on your files? How many of you guys would be upset about that? So why do you let people do that to these files? In fact, I don't know. Sometimes you need a bigger reference to really understanding what I'm saying here, because it's not Coke that they're pouring in the files. You know what they're putting in your files? It's like somebody coming to your office and taking like they're literally pooping in your filing cabinet. Like just having a poop right in your filing cabinet. How many of you guys might be irritated if somebody pooped right in your filing cabinet, right? But you'll protect those files, but you won't stop anybody from pooping in these files. It's like, go ahead, have at it, right? And these are the most valuable files that you have. These are the ones that have determined exactly everything that you have in your life right now. In every area of your life.
I'm not sure.
You got to protect your files. You've got to protect these files. They're the most important files that you have. Turn to the person next and say, hey, you got to protect your files. Turn to the person on the other side and say, hey, don't let anybody poop in your files.
No pooping.
Ever, ever, ever. See, it has been proven that what you continually think about is what you eventually become. See, this is the topic of references. The references, the references, the references, the references, the references. What you continually think about is what you'll eventually become. And I know there's somebody out there, some guy out there who's looking at me going, yeah, right, buddy, if that was true, I'd be a woman right now, right? I know there's one of you. There's always one of you. But that's not exactly what I mean. How many of you guys know people that all they ever talk about is drama, 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 drama? How many of you know those people, right? How many of you guys know the people that you'd be talking with your friends, and when they walk in the door, everyone's like, time to go, gotta go. Now, for those of you guys who are like, no, I don't know what you're talking about, but everyone scatters when you come in, you are that person. See, I don't understand why drama keeps happening in your life. Maybe it's because all you ever do is talk about it and think about it. Maybe that's why. Or maybe drama happens in everybody's life, but you're the only one, or you, not the only one, but you are one of those people that loves to focus on that. Hey, you know what? I don't know why you're the only one on planet Earth that gets red lights all the time. I don't know why. Or maybe everybody gets red lights, but you just only think about it. Every time it happens, it only happens to you. Like, so bad. I swear, I am the person. It doesn't matter what restaurant I go to. I always get onions in my food. It doesn't matter how many times I say, I want no onions. Do you understand? No extra onions. No onion. I'm that person. Do you guys believe that? No. But that's how I feel about that topic, right? Because I think about it. Please don't put onions in this. Please don't. Oh my God, onions again, right? But how many of you guys have noticed that watch this. Let's go back to your file. The rich just keep getting. You know what? That person's so successful because they're just so lucky. The person's lucky. Yeah, the harder I work, the luckier I get. It's crazy. Crazy how that happens. Maybe the rich get richer because they're busy thinking about how to become more successful while you're busy thinking about bills, 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 bills. They're thinking about how to create income streams to make sure they never have to worry about bills while you're worried about how not to get another one. Maybe they just think about things differently. Now, here's the most important thing I can say to you guys today. And it's not mine, it's Albert Einstein's. He says the level of thinking that has gotten us to where we're at today will not get us to where we're committed to be. Now, let's translate that. Everyone, grab that piece of paper that you wrote down some of those goals that you have in your life. Just take a look at it. By the level of energy, passion, enthusiasm, excitement, noise, energy that you have inside of you, how many of you are 100%, not 99, not 90, but 100% committed to having that life for yourself and for your family? Let me hear you. 100%. 100%. You are, or you guys are, these guys are, those guys are, he is, those guys are back there, some back there, there's a couple back there, he is for sure, right? That group is right there, couple people back there, right? Couple people over here, perfect, right? And it's okay for those of you guys that didn't stand up because all that means is you're saying to yourself, I don't believe that I could really have this stuff, right? I just don't believe it. And that's okay because not everybody's going to be an ambassador. And not everybody's going to be a 5-star. But I always know who's going to be because they're committed to it. And you can tell because when you're committed to something, it radiates through you. It radiates through you. Some of you guys might be saying, well, I don't know how. Who cares about how? That's not what I asked you. I didn't say, do you know how? I said, are you committed to having it? And that's different, right? Okay, for those of you guys that did stand up, here's the bad news. The level of thinking that's gotten you to where you're at today is not enough to get you to where